Venezuela's president, Mr. Nicolás Maduro, has fired a fresh warning shot at Washington, and this time he's not standing alone. Cuba is right beside him. That's right, Cuba. In a fiery national address, Mr. Maduro, he slammed the United States, and that too for keeping up its decades-long economic blockade against Cuba, a policy that he called inhumane, outdated, and cruel. His message to Donald Trump was loud and clear. It was that if America truly wants to make history, lift the blockade on Cuba. Well, Maduro's remarks, they came right after a major development at the United Nations. 165 countries voted in favor of ending U.S. sanctions on Cuba. Only a handful of nations opposed it, putting Washington on the defensive once again. Well, Maduro seized the moment to declare that the entire world is standing up against what he called America's economic warfare on small nations. But you know what? This isn't just about politics. Maduro also linked his message to a growing humanitarian crisis in the Caribbean. A powerful hurricane recently threw the Jamaica, Cuba, and Bahamas particular strait, leaving widespread destruction in its path. Maduro described it as a monstrous force of nature, blaming its intensity on climate change and warning the seas, and using it to highlight what he called the hypocrisy of the United States foreign policy. Well, he argued that instead of punishing its neighbors, the US should be helping them rebuild. The greatest help that America could offer is that the end of the torture of Cuba's economy and stand with us in times of disaster. In fact, behind the fiery rhetoric lies a deeper warning, a show of unity between Venezuela and Cuba, two nations that have faced years of US sanctions. Here, analysts say that Maduro is trying to rally Latin America around a common cause, and that is resistance to the US dominance. By standing shoulder to shoulder with Havana, Caracas is sending a signal here that Washington's pressure has only made these allies stronger. In the meantime, the White House remains unmoved. Trump's administration continues to justify the embargo by accusing Cuba of human rights violation and backing Venezuela's socialist regime. But the UN vote, it shows how isolated the US has become on this particular issue. Even traditional American allies, including several in Europe, they have called for a change in policy. In Maduro's words, the time of imperial arrogance is ending. His fiery speech wasn't just aimed at Trump, by the way, it was aimed at the world, urging nations to resist what he called economic colonization through sanctions. The takeaway here? Venezuela and Cuba are presenting a united front, not just politically but symbolically, and that too against what they see as US bullying. And with global support rising against the embargo, the pressure is shifting back towards Washington. And yes, Maduro has thundered, Cuba will not kneel and neither will Venezuela.